these are key. Make these 5 videos, and every real estate agent should do that. The problem is that there are 52 weeks in a year. And what are you doing for those other, 47 videos? That's the real trick, because, after you make those first 5 videos, I think a lot of real estate agents are kind of like, okay, well, what do I do now? And I've been able to power through that. Like,
EXP is where it's at. If you wanna be a savage, join the wolf pack. Yeah. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Wolfpack Chat. I'm your host, Laressa, and in this episode, we have an extraordinary super member of the Wolfpack here with us today. He is an OG, original gangster, a living legend, and really an early pioneer of the Wolfpack who has literally paved the way and set the bar all the way up here and has beautifully demonstrated how to properly leverage the power of YouTube and video content marketing to establish, grow, and thrive in your real estate business as a new agent in a new market. Through the Wolfpack's YouTube training and blueprint, he sold 75 homes his first year with eXp Realty, which of course is absolutely incredible and makes him an eXp icon agent. He truly is an inspiration to all of us in the Wolfpack, and I am beyond excited and honored to have him on the show today to share his incredible journey and success since joining eXp and the Wolfpack, and how that has impacted the trajectory of his business, his life. So without further ado, located in El Paso, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Wolfpack Chat, John Pena.
Thank you so much, Laressa. Really appreciate it. And I don't think I've ever been called a super member before, so that is awesome.
No, you are a super member. I've seen your journey since the beginning, since you joined the Wolfpack, and so let's take it back. So for those who don't know who you are, can you give us the quick evolution of the John Pena we see here today, starting with how you got into the real estate industry?
Absolutely. So I was actually a teacher for about 15 years, kind of all over the country. And essentially, I kind of reached a point where I met my wife, and we decided to take what we kind of called a midlife correction. It was like a preemptive strike on a midlife crisis that we kind of felt coming on. And so we actually moved down to Mexico for a while, sold all of our stuff, lived in an old Airstream trailer. We completely ran out of money and decided that we should probably come back to the States and, start thinking about that aspect of our life. And so we were in Florida for a while. Florida was not the place for me, the humidity and everything really wasn't that great. So we were kind of looking for a place to relocate, and we wanted to be in the Southwest. My wife has a condition where, cold winters are not really a good thing for her. And so we actually were on our way to kind of check out Tucson, some other areas, and we just kind of stopped in El Paso and we're passing through. But we had a really good experience, and we had never really, El Paso wasn't even on our radar, but we actually came back and kind of checked it out a couple more times, and we decided, for a number of reasons, weather, affordability, community, that this was the place that we were going to settle down and kind of start over. And so that was in the summer of 2019. Mm-hmm. I had always kind of had thoughts about getting into real estate. I didn't really want to go back into teaching. I was kind of burnt out on that. And so I decided to get my real estate license in 2019. I got my real estate license in 2020, January, February, and I actually joined Keller Williams because, being a new real estate agent, I figured I would probably need, a lot of training. I wanted to be able to go into an actual brick and mortar office to be able to talk to people when I had questions. But then a couple months later, as we all know, COVID kind of blew up the world. And so I found myself in a unique position because I had just moved to a city, so I literally didn't know anybody. I was a brand new real estate agent. A lot of the traditional ways that one might go about finding clients, networking, door knocking, all of that was off the table because, COVID at that time, it was like the thing, and it was full on quarantine. So like I said, that was an interesting time for me. So in those kind of first initial COVID months, March, April, May, I was doing a lot of thinking, reading a lot of books, looking at a lot of YouTube stuff, and I actually kind of stumbled onto both Mike and Connor's content. And I just kind of, mind you, I had absolutely no business in real estate. Thank God my wife had a job, and so she was supporting us. So basically, I was looking at a lot of their content and realized that this was probably the direction that I would need to go. And so in July-ish of 2020, it's funny because when I started watching Mike's content, he wasn't with EXP, and then all of a sudden he put out a video saying, "Hey, I'm going to EXP. If any agents want to join me, you know, call me, let's talk. I'll give you the social media content that I have for free." And so I was already kind of watching his content. And I think literally that day, I booked an appointment with him. We jumped on a Zoom call. We talked a little bit about, who he was, who I was, and that was it. So I made the switch to the Wolfpack then. And actually, in the summer of 2020, that's actually when I did start the YouTube channel. Actually, I don't know if Connor still promotes this or not, but he had a YouTube course. I think before Mike did even.
Yep.
Mike was more on the Facebook, Instagram side of it. And so I watched Connor's videos, of course. I started that YouTube channel. Of course, I watched Mike's videos when he put that content out. And so I've been consistently putting out content on that YouTube channel, I'd say, for the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because like I said, I've seen your channel really from the beginning and the videos that you put out. Because some of your videos have really, they've literally blown up and they have so many views. So I wanted to ask you, what made you consider doing YouTube over doing like things like Instagram or short form content? What made you go the route of doing long form videos?
It's a great question. I was fortunate when I was a music teacher.
Yeah.
But I was fortunate to teach in a more progressive charter high school up in Wisconsin for a number of years. And we did a lot of courses where we had a strong emphasis on video content, and music production and technology, software. Kids aren't so into playing the clarinet anymore as they are into, like making hip hop beats and stuff. And so that's really what we were trying to focus on. And so what ended up happening is that I actually already kind of had a lot of experience with video editing. Like I can get around iMovie very, very easily. Even some of the more advanced programs, whether it's Premiere or DaVinci Resolve. And so I kind of already had the background in video editing. So I was able to essentially, do all kind of in-house production. I didn't need to hire anybody to edit my videos. And so in addition to that, having been a school teacher, when you're a school teacher, you basically stand up in front of a bunch of people and you try to explain things to them. And you want as many, kind of diverse personalities to be able to understand what it is you're explaining. And quite honestly, for me, YouTube is kind of the same way. You're trying to get in front of people, lots of different people, and you're trying to explain different ideas, whether it's the real estate market, whether it's how you purchase a home, whether it's why you might consider moving to El Paso. And so it just kind of seemed like a good fit for me. And honestly, up to that point, now I'm a number of years older than you, so keep this in mind. But up to that point, I hadn't really been all that active in Facebook and Instagram, quite honestly. And so YouTube just seemed kind of like a good fit for me.
I like that. So, the funny thing before this call, like I didn't know that you were a music teacher for 15 years, which makes a lot of sense now because I remember there was one video that you did and you did like a jingle. I don't remember if it was like about the market, but you were there with your guitar and then you were just singing. I was like, wow, I love this guy. He's so creative. So I remember that. I just wanted to put that out there. But in terms of creating content, what were some of the videos that really took off for you on your channel?
The videos that have done the best are exactly what Mike tells you to do. The pros and cons of El Paso. That's a slam dunk. It's funny. I think the video that has the most views I think it was the fourth or fifth video I ever did. It's called Where to Live in El Paso. And it was literally me driving around in my car, holding my phone and just driving through these different neighborhoods and just talking about them. That video has done extremely well, which is so funny. That one's great. You know, things to do before considering, making a move to El Paso. Um, Different best areas, like those kind of typical videos that Mike tells you to make. Those are still the ones that have done the best for me.
I love that. And in regards to your content, I love how you have such a variety of different types of content. So sometimes you have like neighborhood tours, and you have like some house tours, and then even you just showcasing the value of the city, right? In terms of in different areas of El Paso. So I think a lot of real estate agents who want to do YouTube actually they overcomplicate it because they feel like they need to have the best camera, the lighting, the microphone. But really, with you, you really start off with just using your phone, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I'd say for the first year I didn't do anything more than just use my phone, and I mean literally that was it. Now, in the since the channel has provided a number of clientele for us, when I started the YouTube channel, I basically had all the time in the world because I didn't have any clients, right? It took me, by the way, for those impatient real estate agents out there, it took me about 6 months before I started seeing any type of result whatsoever from this channel. So, keep that in mind. And yes, we all have heard this before, that a lot of agents will start and then they don't get, thousands of views on their videos and then they give up. That's, that's a bad play on an agent's part. You have got to be consistent, and give it time. You have to do all of the things that Mike tells you to do with tags and descriptions and keywords and
Mm-hmm.
all of this stuff. But if you stay consistent, it is going to pay off. But once it did start paying off for me, I kind of went from like 0 to 100. And so I had less time to devote to making these videos. And so as the business started to grow, I've actually trained another young man to do a lot of the making of the videos, to free me up to actually run the business, and help people buy and sell homes. So, but for the beginning, literally, it was just the iPhone.
That's amazing. And like you said, it is important to know that this is a delayed gratification game. It does take 6 months to even 12 months to really build up that muscle and just putting out consistent content. Because with YouTube, the algorithm has to see you putting out content consistently on a consistent basis. And that's even just doing one video every week. Like you got to get those reps in. So you said 6 months in. So at what point did you start getting daily calls or people reaching out to you in regards to your videos?
I remember, I started in July. I'd say in November, December, all of a sudden the leads started kind of trickling in. And by January, it was pretty much starting to feel like a flood of incoming leads. And of course, you know, 2021 was insane. I mean, that was a very active year for most real estate agents. And so, but like I said, after about 4 months, I started seeing people commenting, reaching out. And by, 5, 6 months, I was selling houses to these people who were relocating to El Paso.
Okay. Yeah, because I wanted to ask you that. What kind of clients were you getting? So these are people who are specifically looking to relocate to that area, which makes sense because you were putting out really content of just really showcasing your city and your marketplace, which I think is really important because I think really the type of content that you put out is specifically the type of clients and audience that you will attract. So for you, do you deal with a lot of relocation clients then?
Yeah, we last year, especially 2021, I'd say of those 75 houses or so that we sold, pretty much all of those were buyers, by the way. And I would say, 95% of them were relocating buyers.
Amazing. So, in terms of attracting these leads and converting them into clients, how did you manage the people coming in, this flow of people? Did you have any sort of system in place, like using KV Core, or what was your process for
Well,
that?
that's such a funny question because I was still a pretty I was a brand new real estate agent. And so I hadn't had a lot of experience with CRMs like KV Core and what have you. And so honestly, last year it was just me. I didn't have any other people working with me, and I guarantee you that I left a significant amount of money on the table because I didn't have those follow-up systems and those nurture systems in place. I was just trying to keep my head above water. Like um, it was a fast-paced
Mm-hmm.
situation for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, of course, this year we have, brought on some other people to help out, and we've made a really big drive to really implement systems so that we don't let people fall through the cracks, so that we don't leave money on the table. But that first year, like I said, it really was for me a 0 to 100. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty insane. And so I definitely let a lot of people kind of slip through the cracks, which annoys me. That idea of leaving money on the table is tricky to swallow, but we live and learn, and obviously make improvements and put systems into place so that doesn't happen. But that first year,
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty crazy.
For sure. I think once you get the ball rolling, the momentum, you can't stop it. So it's just a matter of like I said, you live and you learn and you implement as you go. So in regards to, you attracting all of these leads, how are you still able to continue to upload weekly while working with active clients at the same time? So what did your schedule look like in regards to that?
I wouldn't. I guess the first year, my schedule looked like I put out videos. My videos came out every Saturday morning. I've never missed a week, never. And I've, like you mentioned, I've put out at least one, what I consider kind of like a main episode
Mm-hmm.
every Saturday morning. What my schedule looked like last year was me staying up on Friday night until like 1, 2, 3 in the morning, finishing the video so that it could be uploaded on Saturday. And so that wasn't ideal. But at the same time, I was super busy. I didn't have any help. I was still making all of the videos myself. So that, like I said, that wasn't great. Now I have another guy who makes the videos, and it's much less stressful. But the thing that I think maybe separates me from others is that Mike Mike's going to say, hey, make these 5 videos, right? These are key. Make these 5 videos, and every real estate agent should do that. The problem is that there are 52 weeks in a year, and what are you doing for those other 47 videos? That's the real trick,
Mm-hmm.
because after you make those first 5 videos, I think a lot of real estate agents are kind of like, okay, well, what do I do now? And I've been able to power through that. Like I've been able, like you said, I kind of took the path of being the ambassador of El Paso, really trying to feature the city, because there's a ton of stuff for you to talk about with your city, whether it's local businesses, whether it's things to do, whether it's events and activities, whether it's the weather, whether it's anything almost. So I think a lot of people get stuck, and rightly so, because I mean, let's be honest, there's an element of creativity and imagination that a real estate agent's going to need to have if they're going to put out a video a week. And now, so we're going on 2 years. And so you have to consistently be coming up with ideas. And that part is a little bit tricky. But if I were talking to another real estate agent who was going to do this, I'd say just copy what other people have done. Like look on my channel and see what I've done. There's tons of other real estate agents that do a great job on this too. Look and see what they've done. So the coming up with that consistent content is pretty important.
Mm-hmm. And even Mike says this all the time. R&D, rip off and duplicate. And I mean, when it comes to content creation, it is really tricky because you always have to have that creative light bulb thinking. But even then, even in regards to the engagement that you have on your videos, even looking at the comments, it also gives you inspiration in regards to other videos that you can make, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We go through the comments all the time. And yeah, that's great fodder for videos, because if somebody asks like, what is this like, or what do you think about this? Well, great. That's a great video. And I remember in Connor's pitch on this idea about why YouTube is this idea of you create evergreen content. So I can create a piece of content that answers a question instead of me having to answer this same question 1,000 times. Now I've got a piece of content. So when I get those 1,000 questions, I can just direct people to this video like, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. Here's the link to the video that answers your question. So having that in your back pocket is awesome. That's one of the things that I still like about YouTube over these other kind of short form content platforms is that I can, I do reels and I do all that stuff, but what am I getting? Like 24 to 48 hours of that content, and it's gone. Whereas with these YouTube videos, it's always there. People can always go back to it, and so I think that part of YouTube is amazing.
Yes, I was going to mention that too, in regards to specifically YouTube content. Depending on what video you make, if it's about your city or different areas of your city, that's evergreen content. And it's basically like that. It's like you cloning yourself, creating leverage, and those how many videos that you have on the internet, hundreds, 200 videos of you, that's basically you prospecting 24 hours a day, 365. And that's like thousands of you. And even now with video, especially in regards to real estate agents, having that brand power and being able to leverage yourself through video, it's not just one-to-one conversations. It can literally be 1 to 100, 1 to thousands, and then you're really sifting through people who specifically want to work with you, and that creates true leverage, especially in a real estate business. Because I think for realtors, oftentimes, like we try to fill up our pipeline, and sometimes that's really hard to do, but sometimes it's even easier when you put out a piece of content and then you're basically attracting that specific person to you. So that's what I love about YouTube. It actually just makes prospecting and generating business and maintaining the momentum of your business actually so much more easier, especially when you have all these videos out already. And that in and of itself creates so much credibility, because I think for the average client or even viewer online, when they see somebody with this brand and all these videos behind them, it really gives you true authority and credibility in your market, regardless if you are a new agent, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because I always tell the people now that I work with and that work for me, I say, how you convince somebody that you're an expert? You tell them you're the expert. Like, and literally, that's really what it is. Because if I get on camera and I make a YouTube video about the real estate market last month, of course I'm going to just pull the MLS data, and I'm just going to share the data. That doesn't make me special. I'm just telling you what the numbers are. But it in people's minds, they're like, okay, well, this guy's the expert. This guy's the one who's giving me this information. I don't know that any other real estate agents in El Paso have this information, but I know this guy knows it. So yeah, it really does position you, or as you say, it kind of gives you that leverage to hold sort of that position of not only being known, liked, and trusted, but sort of being the expert in the market, which gives you a lot of credibility, which obviously comes in handy.
For sure. And so I've noticed on your channel lately, the last couple of videos, your wife Leah has been featuring in your video. So is she working with you full time, or how's that integration or transition worked for you guys?
Super interesting question. Yeah. So Leah had a very good job in healthcare management, but we at the same time, I love, you're gonna hear me talk about Connor. I love Connor.
I do too. I do too.
The thing that rubbed off on me that he talked about for a long time was this idea of time, money, freedom, right? And so Leah's job was a salaried position, and so she did very well. She made good money, but it's a very regimented schedule. She's working 8 to 12 hour days. She's super stressed out, and so yeah, the business was doing so well that we were both kind of like, you don't need this job, quite honestly. And so she did get her real estate agent license. She's more I'm not actually, believe it or not, I am kind of an introvert myself, but I can get over that. She's more of an introvert, and so she didn't necessarily want to be hanging out and dealing with the clients face to face. But she's great with numbers and everything, so she's been kind of handling that back end aspect of the business. But at the same time, here's another Connor bomb for you. He's always talking about multiple income streams. And so one of the things that Leah and I have been toying with is, can we, is this YouTube channel, is it just going to be a lead generation machine for real estate clients? And if so, awesome, great, so be it. But we have other interests too. We are kind of getting into overlanding and traveling. And so we've just kind of been playing and toying around with how that kind of content might play out on the channel. And so she has been in more videos. It's not at all her favorite thing. So I don't know how many more I'm going to be able to drag her into. But yeah, I mean, we like to tinker with it and just see where it goes. It's funny. I recently heard somebody, doesn't mean they know exactly what they're talking about, but they were saying, most YouTube channels have a shelf life of maybe 5 to 7 years, right? After that, chances are, either the content creator is kind of getting burned out and is going to transition to something else, or maybe somebody else has come along or whatever it is. But anyway, it's a fun. I enjoy the YouTube channel as a means of just kind of an expression, a creativity vehicle. And so yeah, we're always kind of toying with it, seeing what else it can do. But one thing that I do think, to go back to what you said, you'd said like the information that you present on your channel is going to resonate with certain people. And when I started the channel, I knew that I was trying to resonate with relocating buyers to El Paso, because I knew that El Paso was going to be attractive to other people because it was attractive to me, right? For those reasons: weather, affordability, community. And so I knew it was going to appeal to other people. And so I was primarily targeting relocating buyers. That's great. We've done that. And like you said, that content is 24 hours a day. It's working for us, and it's going to attract those relocating buyers. What we want to do, though, is we ended up with a very lopsided business because, like I said, that first year, the majority, almost all of our clients were buyers. So what we didn't have were listings, right? And everybody knows, if you've read any real estate books, that listings are the name of the game, right? Buyers are great, but at the same time, they can also be a bit of a pain in the butt, which I've got something to say about that too. But anyway, so what we've really started to do now is try to think about content that's going to resonate with people here in El Paso who already own homes, who might be looking to sell those homes in the future. And so now we're really trying to transition the channel to resonate more with homeowners, so that we can kind of balance out our clientele and start getting those listings.
For sure. I think the list of video topic ideas that Mike gives us in regards to his YouTube training, like those videos are great for attracting buyers. But I think in regards to YouTube, especially for agents, there is phases that you kind of work through as the years go on. So for you, your first year was really attracting all of these buyers. And I like how you said you're trying to transition to, working with sellers. And I think already having that credibility, working with these many buyers, and knowing all of these homes already gives you, again, that credibility to be working with these sellers, because you guys already know the market so well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple of things. One thing that we can do when we talk to sellers is we can point to the YouTube channel and say, hey, look, we've got buyers on hand. Like we attract a lot of buyers. We may have buyers who might be interested in your home, just through the channel alone. But the other beautiful thing about the YouTube channel is once you can convince people that the channel is, successful, well, then you can explain to people, well, hey, I'm going to do everything that your normal listing agent's going to do. I'm going to market it and do all of this. But what I'm going to do that nobody else can do in this market is I'm going to feature it on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has such and such subscribers, such and such thousands of views, da 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 da. So when I'm at a listing appointment, it's just one more thing that I can put in front of a seller to say, hey, look, I've got this, and we're going to use it for your advantage. We're going to leverage it on your behalf.
For sure. That's such a huge advantage to have. I know a few agents in the Wolfpack who have YouTube channels, and now, and in regards to listings, they don't even have a listing presentation. They just show the seller like, hey, I have this YouTube channel. I can leverage this audience here, and that's all you need. Because I think for sellers, they see that brand power. They see that you can push out their home and their listing to a wide audience of people, and that's true leverage. So I think now, in terms of listing and being a selling agent, the name of the game is who is the best marketer, and how far is your reach really in terms of putting that listing out there. In regards to, so you said are you building a local production team? Are you building a rev share? Kind of what's your take on building and leveraging yourself?
We are more in the production game. That's what resonates with me. I like having been a teacher for so long and working for somebody else. I like the challenges that come with building a business. I like real estate. I like helping people buy and sell homes. At the same time, my end goal is to create a business that, because this business has essentially given me money freedom. It has not given me time freedom. And so my goal is to, within 5 years or so, have in place the people, the systems, so that this real estate business is chugging along, and I am not, I'm not necessarily pulling the strings. I'm essentially taking my cut of what the business is producing, and I have that time, money freedom. So that is kind of my goal. I know that a lot of people are doing the agent attraction rev share thing, which is totally awesome. I think it's great. It just hasn't really resonated with me, and honestly, I just haven't had the time necessarily maybe to put into it. I like working, but at the same time, I have a number of other things that I like doing as well, having a life. I'm training for like a 55K trail run race here in a couple of months. I still like playing music and doing those types of things. We're traveling a lot. And so I think for me, trying to do, kind of production and the agent attraction both would just be, for me, it's just a little bit too much. And like I said, I'm really drawn to the production game, and so that's the game I'm playing.
For sure. You basically answered my last question. I was going to ask you where you saw yourself or see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years, but you already answered that. And for sure, in regards to EXP, we're really high producing. We have lots of high producing agents in this company. A lot of people come here for the Icon Award and our Stock Award, and those agents really excel, and they end up building, teams. So they become the team leader, and then they just kind of like nurture these other agents, and then they're able to just basically duplicate themselves. So perhaps that's something you're interested in doing, is becoming a team leader and building out your own local team in El Paso, because I could totally see you doing that, and you can, of course, in that way get your time back and still maintain that level of financial freedom, and can continue to build that wealth. So super excited to see what you do in the next 5 to 10 years. Super excited to see where you're going to be taking your YouTube channel in regards to putting out different types of content, because the last video I think I saw on your channel was where you guys went on like a little hiking tour, and you had like a tent or a truck tent. Yeah, I don't know. I saw that video. I like that. Was really cool. It's kind of vlog style. I like those videos. So I like to see more of that side from you. It makes you guys really relatable, and I think people would genuinely enjoy watching that type of content. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, so before we kind of round off this episode, at the end of the episode, I usually like to do a rapid fire question round. But before I do that, I want to give you the chance to plug where people can find you online. So let them know where they can find you.
The YouTube channel is Living in El Paso, Texas. We've got the Facebook, we've got the Instagram. The Instagram is Pena El Paso. We have started that team. The name of the team is Pena El Paso Realty Group. We're trying to get into the TikTok game, so we're John Pena El Paso there. And those are kind of our main stomping grounds for now.
Awesome. Okay, so now we're moving into our rapid fire question round. So I'm going to be asking you a series of questions. Don't be scared. Just answer
Okay.
whatever comes to the top of your brain, and then it's fun stuff. So, first question I have here is, in regards to real estate, what is something you know now that you wish you knew back then?
Hmm. Oh, okay. I wish I would have. I wish I would have known, and this was everywhere, and I just maybe I knew it, but I just didn't believe it. I wish I would have known how much of an up and down cycle real estate is. Real estate is a roller coaster. I mean, there are going to be up economies, there are going to be down economies, and yes, real estate's going to sell in both. But your numbers are going to fluctuate as well with the rise and fall of the economy. And I kind of knew it. I just didn't know how quickly it would go. So that's something that would have been useful to know ahead of time.
Nice, I like that. That's important to note as well. So, next
Yeah.
question, what is your favorite pizza topping?
Pizza topping. I'm just a simple pepperoni kind of guy, to tell you the truth.
Also, I like that. Coffee or tea?
Coffee, definitely.
Okay, next question. When you are not working, what do you like to do for fun?
Well, this probably doesn't sound at all fun to most people, but I really like exercise and fitness. Like I said, I'm training for this trail run race. So uh, El Paso, one thing that's awesome about El Paso is that we have a little mountain range that literally bisects the city in half. So you have like kind of West El Paso, East El Paso, and the Franklin Mountains kind of run north south. And they're a modest but still pretty good little mountain range. And there's tons of trails and stuff. And so I've actually started getting into this kind of long distance trail running. So I've like I said, that probably sounds terrible to a lot of people, but that's really kind of what I'm into right now.
No, I like that. That's really cool. So, follow up question to that, what type of music do you listen to when you work out?
You know what's so funny? I don't listen to any music because since I'm still kind of new to it, um, when you run in the Franklin Mountains, obviously it's El Paso, we're more of a desert climate. So I'm not running on like in forests with like nice soft trails. I'm running on like really rocky, sometimes crazy trails. And quite honestly, if you aren't paying attention, you're gonna like break an ankle or like biff it right into a cactus. And so at this point, I don't take earbuds with me or anything, and I just kind of like focus on where I'm putting my feet. So, but honestly, if I were gonna run, I'd probably listen to podcasts. That's kind of more my jam.
I like that multitasking. Okay.
Yep.
Next question I have here. If you could learn any language in a week, what would it be?
This is so funny. Um, all right. My last name is Pena, right? And I've got the little squiggly line over the
Yes.
end. My dad is Mexican. What's really crazy is actually El Paso means the pass. The reason that El Paso was named El Paso is because it's a border town, right? Like literally right behind me, what you're looking at is
Yeah.
Mexico, right? And it's Juarez. And so um, my dad's father or my dad's mother actually came through El Paso into the United States. My dad was born in California, but my dad obviously speaks Spanish and English. But when I was growing up, he didn't speak Spanish with me because when he was a kid, you would get in trouble for speaking Spanish in the schools, right? So he didn't teach Spanish to me. Ironically, now I find myself in a city that's basically 95% bilingual, and I'm the 5% that basically can't speak Spanish. So just yesterday, literally, I finally was like, nope, that's it. I'm going to learn Spanish. So I actually signed up. I've got like a private tutor. So now I'm not going to learn it in a week. God, I wish I could, but definitely Spanish.
I love that. That's actually so funny. So, the next time I have you on my channel, you're going to be fluent, right?
See.
Amazing. Okay. What is your favorite holiday?
Mm. Actually, I really like Halloween because now here in El Paso, one of the cons you might say of El Paso is that there's not a huge differentiator between seasons. summer, fall kind of mesh together. So
Mm-hmm.
there's not a big differentiator between the fall. But when I lived in Wisconsin, fall was epic. Leaves are changing, pumpkins, all of that. And so I think I still kind of have that fondness in my mind. So I kind of like Halloween more for just kind of that fall weather vibe.
Awesome. I like that. Next question. What is your favorite vacation destination so far?
Mm. All right. I am a simpleton. Okay. So let me just put that out there first. But um, Leah and I recently went to Sedona, Arizona, and it was like breathtakingly beautiful. It was pretty amazing. It's a fun little town. There's so much nature stuff. We rented these electric bikes and like went all over the place. And so for me, like the reason that we're doing a lot of these travel videos is because we're still trying to resonate with people that might buy and sell homes, and we're saying, hey, look, El Paso is awesome because it's like a jumping off point for all these different like places that you can go and travel and within a day, like within a day's drive. So most recently Sedona. If you haven't been to Sedona, it's pretty magical.
Okay, I'll put that on my bucket list.
Definitely.
Okay, final question I have here. If I go to El Paso, Texas one day, where should I go to eat good food?
um, Well, there's two options. There's a little restaurant called L&J's, and that's like kind of the go-to Mexican restaurant. But there's also a little place called Rosa's Cantina that's been around here forever. It's in the guy's name escapes me now. Someone will say it, but there was like a famous song written about this little place. So if you're coming to El Paso, trust me, there is no shortage of pretty epic Mexican food restaurants that you could try out.
Awesome. That sounds so cool. All right, friends. That was John Pena and Laressa Nguyen coming at you from the Wolfpack Chat. John, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. This was super exciting and amazing to get to learn more about you. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So for those who are still here, please comment down below #AgentWolfpack so we know that you guys are the real ones and that you stayed till the end. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the next episode of the Wolfpack Chat. And of course, I will link all of John's social links down in the description box below, so be sure to check it out and give him a follow. So until next time, we will see you all next time. Bye, friends! Where you at? Come through. EXP is where it's at. If you wanna be established on the